Hi, I'm Sheryl, and we're at the Agricultural Heritage Center in Longmont, Colorado today. And we're going to play a little bit of Museum I Spy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into a room here at the Agricultural Heritage Center in this 1910s farmhouse. So it was built over 100 years ago. And I'm going to show you the room. I'm going to ask you to look for a few things in the room. And then I'll show you those things too, and we'll talk a little bit about them. And what we're going to be working with today are actual artifacts, things that were made and used by people during the time period when this house was built. So a lot of these items are over 100 years old, and you'll see that I'll have gloves on so that I can handle them easily. A lot of times at museums you can't handle things, you can't touch them, because the natural oils and salts on our skins helps to deteriorate items anytime you touch them and helps to destroy them just a little bit more. So we want to be really careful with these historic artifacts, but we also want to learn about them and for you to learn about them too. So I'm going to try to do that in the safest way possible, and we'll see what we can find out today, okay? Get ready for some Museum I Spy. Let's see here. I'm in the mudroom or the back porch at the Agricultural Heritage Center here in Longmont, Colorado. And we're going to play some I Spy. And so let's see, can you find some things that I'm looking for? All right. I'm looking for something to keep your food cold. I'm looking for something to keep your feet warm, maybe in a wagon or an old-fashioned car. I'm looking for something to clean with. I'm looking for something to kind of vacuum with, but not really. And something to pick up ice with. All right, let's take one more look around the room here. I'll kind of do high and low. Oh, and something, I'm looking for something too, to help take your boots or your shoes off with. All right. Now, I'm going to show you some of these things. We'll see if you found them too. All right, see you in a bit. Hi there. So remember, there are some things in the mudroom here in the back porch area of the farmhouse at the Agricultural Heritage Center that I asked you to find. What were those things? Can you remember? I asked you to find something that could keep food cold. If you and your family thought that this icebox might be the thing, you're entirely right. This icebox was the kind of a refrigerator that people had in their houses 100 years ago and earlier, and probably a little bit later too. And so let's take a look here. You would have a door that would open like this, and there would be a big block of ice in that door. That would keep it cold. And see, it's lined with metal so that helps to insulate it and keep it even colder for that ice not to melt as quickly. There would be a bottom door, and we're not going to open this one because it's going to be hard to see. There would be shelves in there, and that's where you would put your food to keep it cold. Now, one problem with this is that the ice would melt, and so underneath the icebox there would be a tray that you would have to empty every so often with that water from that melted ice. But it was a better refrigerator than having none at all. Let's see. I asked you to find, I think something that would clean something, that would dust. If you guessed this feather duster, you were absolutely right. So these feathers would help to pick up the dust around your house. Now I asked you to find something that would be used to pick up ice for this icebox, for this refrigerator. And if you've seen the movie Frozen, you might remember Kristoff using this. Look at these ice tongs. These would help you to pick up a big block of ice easily and to be able to carry it. I asked you, Also to find something that you can vacuum with. Now it doesn't look like a vacuum cleaner that we're used to nowadays at all, but here's what it is. This rug beater that was hanging on the wall, that is a sort of vacuum. You would hang the rugs and maybe even the blankets in your house over a clothesline outside, and you would beat them over and over with this rug beater, and that's how you would get the dirt and dust out. We've got two styles of this, and the other style is much smaller like this, so you'd probably use it for much smaller, like floor mats and things like that, to beat that dirt and dust out of them. Then I asked you to be on the lookout for something you could take your boots off with, right? I think so. How about this metal thing that's in the shape of a bug? You can take your boots off with that. So what you do, and it's hard to show you here, but imagine this is my foot, and I've got a boot on, and I want to take it off. So I put my foot kind of down here between the bug's antennas, and it helps me to take it off. Then I said, find something that would keep your feet warm if you were riding in a wagon in the old-fashioned days, or even in an old-fashioned car. So here we go. We have this. And what you do is you would take coal from your oven that was hot and put it in this little drawer, and you could put your feet on it in your car or in your wagon to keep warm. And it actually says on it, the Clark heater number 7C. And so that was like the patent number, and that was the kind of heater that it was. A little bit different than nowadays, but it looks like it might have done the trick. Thank you all very much for I Spying with me in the farmhouse.